This video is searching PsycINFO for counseling research topics. The purpose of the video is to demonstrate searching techniques in the PsycINFO database and to model thinking strategies involved in searching effectively. Let's say you are doing research on the topic of which counseling approaches have been shown to be effective with women suffering from PTSD and why. So here in the advanced search screen of PsycINFO, I am going to enter search terms that represent my topic. I'm going to start out by writing out post-traumatic stress disorder. And then because that might also appear in a shortened version in the articles, I'm going to use or PTSD. And it's usually helpful to do any or connections at the beginning of the search. There's more information about how or and function in some of the other tutorials provided for counseling research. Then I'm going to add women because I want either or post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD and women. And then to add the idea of counseling, because I want to focus on counseling rather than other kinds of psychological therapies, I'm going to use the plus sign to the right of my third row of search boxes, and I'm going to add another row where I am typing in counseling. Next, I'm going to scroll down and look at the limiters provided below the search boxes. So let's say I want to focus on the past 5 years of research. So I'm going to type in under publication year 2014 to 2019, and directly below that there is a box that says peer reviewed. I'm going to click that box as well. Scroll down, click search. So in looking at my first results list here, I have 5,814 articles in this list. This is a very large number considering the number of search terms that I put into the search, as well as the publication year limitations and the limitation of it being peer-reviewed articles only that are being retrieved. So I'm going to need to do some other strategies or apply some other strategies to try to focus my results a little bit more. So one thing I can do is scroll down through my results list and see if the titles of the articles give me any ideas. So number 1, healthy start, description of a safety net for perinatal support during disaster recovery. So it sounds like pregnancy, women in a disaster situation. Number 2, also perinatal and disaster recovery mentioned in that one. Childhood abuse as the third one, as well as a mention of depression. Stillbirths, number 4. A specific type of therapy, group-delivered cognitive exposure therapy for PTSD, women veterans. So now we're looking at women veterans, women in the military, and you know what? That's sounding like an interesting focus for me. So I'm going to go back up here to the top of the screen. And it says, and women and counseling. I'm going to take out counseling and I'm going to put in military. Or I could try veterans, but it's kind of up to you. And then I'm going to add a box again and put in counseling. and run my search. As we can see here, adding military as one of my search terms did not reduce my results list really in a meaningful way. So I am going to again look at the left column of limiters and scroll down to where I get into the section that starts with subject major heading. And I'm going to look at some options here. So let's look at age. Often with studies in psychology and behavioral sciences, one of the ways to limit results is by the age range of the subject participants. So I have some options here. I'm going to select young adulthood, 18 to 29 years old. And that should bring my results down to 1,680. I'm looking and noticing, kind of looking at the titles here. Interpersonal psychotherapy for PTSD and women veterans, gender differences and post-traumatic stress disorder. Number 3, veterans with insomnia, PTSD, and depression. Number 4, women veterans with sexual trauma. Number 5, veteran men with military sexual trauma. Number 6, also dealing with veteran trauma or sexual trauma. So there are a number of things here coming up related to sexual trauma. Let's say that I kind of want to avoid that whole range of issues and look at other kinds of causes of PTSD. So I could go back to my search, add another row like before, and this time instead of and or, I'm going to try a not Boolean operator, and I'm going to say sexual. So that should cover sexual assault, sexual harassment, sexual abuse, things related to those topics. And try my search one more time. Now, sometimes, as what happened in this case, adding the not actually removed some of my other limiters. So it took away the young adulthood limiter that I had set. I'm going to reset that one on the left. And looking at my results on the right, I'm not seeing much related to sexual assault this time, so that's positive. But I'm also not seeing a ton of things related to military, and particularly United States military. So I'm not sure that that not worked as well as I had hoped. So I can always go back and just undo that. I think I liked this results list better. So if we look at the first result in our results list here, a pilot study of interpersonal psychotherapy for PTSD and women veterans, we can see that there are full text versions of this article available right here. I'm going to encourage you to also link onto the title or click on the link for the title and open up what we call the record for the article, because that's also going to give you the opportunity to review the abstract before you decide if you want to save this article or do anything more with it. You still have your links for the full text versions on the left. I always encourage students to use the PDF full text when available because it will give you a cleaner read copy and also give you page numbers. On the right, you'll see the tools for what you can do with this article. You can save it, you can email it to yourself. There is a citation feature, which I won't go into right now, but it is good to note that APA citations are often created incorrectly with mistakes in the citation generators that are part of the databases. So you need to be careful and check the citation format in a reliable source like the APA Format and Style Manual or the OWL at Purdue. So we can go back to our results list and look at one more example. So finally, as you look at your results list again, you might come across something like what we see for number 2, going direct to the consumer, examining treatment preferences for veterans with insomnia, PTSD, and depression. Instead of seeing links to full text versions under this title, we see a Find It button. This should not discourage you, particularly as a graduate student. If I again click on the link for the title, open the record, review the abstract, and decide, yes, I think this article is going to be really helpful to me. If I go back to that left column and click on the Find It button, this is going to open our link resolver service, which is going to look at the other databases that we have access to through the library and try to find this article in one of the other databases that we subscribe to. So in this case, it took us to a page where we have a view full text link. I can click on that and it will indeed bring me to the full text version of the article. So if not, if this would have come up empty for us, we could have requested this article through interlibrary loan. A link would have come up on this screen saying, along with a message saying, sorry, we cannot provide direct access to this item. And you could click where it says request a copy and fill out the form that pops up to get it from another library. A few final notes before I go. PsycINFO is just one of several psychology and behavioral science health-focused databases that may be useful for researching this topic or other counseling topics. For more information on formulating a research topic and for searching, particularly using Boolean operators such as and, or, and not, you can see the other counseling research tutorials and support materials. If you need more help, contact me, your education librarian, at kimberly.grotwold@tamusa.edu or call me at 210-784-1519.